Okay, shooting a quick little Pontiac addendum. I started to sit down and actually work this out again. It's been a little while. So I had this index switch, which happened to be, the same switch that these guys had used. So I was able to just pop them apart and swap the guts over, because they are wired a little differently, but that's okay. I moved the rotator plate and the contacts over. So now it'll work. I've already tested it. Pretty happy about that. I was just kind of reviewing notes and pictures and stuff, trying to remember what my plan was almost 2 years ago. And off is basically just a dead switch. The way this works is you've got some sliders here. So they're just some 10K slide pots. So like in this case, mode control can go from here to here, typical with the old cable slides that you see in cars. So I'm going to spoof that with this rotation between dash and floor, kind of walking my way up. So we will kind of do that. So it won't be linear. And the heat control, we're going to try to work off of the fact that this little guy here, watch that thing. See that moving? I think that's a thing I can take linear. There's also one on the bottom, if I recall, that I can use. So just kind of remembering how all this goes back together. You can see that I'd obviously made myself a note that I have to trim that part of the tomahawk. But yeah, I think that this is going to come along just okay. One of the things with this heater that I don't know that I've ever explained before, and you notice I did cut those tabs just so that I could do it. I took a real good scan of these and pulled them up into Visio and then into Inkscape, where it was easier to make some shapes. The one reason I can't just use the metal ones I have now is, see how these are? That one's upside down. So they all have to be the same direction to make this work, because this is that thing that takes and tilts that plate. And then our off position is actually just a dummy position. So I sampled those, got them into software, and now I just threw them on some draft board and laser. So this will be the shapes: off, dash, floor, defrost in the middle, and then the two blends. But notice how now the spring offset's the same. Now these aren't what I'm going to use. This is just draft board. I will send off to probably SendCutSend, but this way I can at least see that my model is correct. Here you can see the way I want the ramps. So I've got a positive stop so that can't fall out on the off, and then our two blend positions and so this is floor, this is dash, and this is the defrosted location. So pretty typical for GM. But by cutting them this way, I can see just how close I am, and I do get a little bit of slop. Now this one's not the right one to look at if I want to see that. Well, let's do one that's the same no matter what. Okay, so we line that up. You can see that all lines up pretty nice. And then the center one used to be off way back in the day, which is why it has this wider tab. But we're not doing that. We've got a different control mechanism. So hopefully this comes out the way we think it will. Okay, we sent those off to SendCutSend, and it was so inexpensive I had to order an awful lot of them to hit my minimum $29 spend. So we'll see what Superfast Matt got right or wrong here. All right, it's the next day. I have an awful lot of these on order at SendCutSend, so hopefully those show up soon. I have my little wooden ones that I cut to make sure I was going to be happy with them, and that I got my dimensioning right. And now one of the things I want to work on is what can I do with this position. So I'm going to start playing with that. I know some of the other ones it'd be easy to put one of these little switches in. So I don't know. I got to decide what I want to do. Off may just be a fake position. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. we are going to have off being off. It's going to, I just had to drill some new holes and move one of the switches, so when that's pushed all the way in, that'll break a contact. So see, now off will push on something and do something. Now currently, and there's not a lot I can do about it because it's the way their unit works, when this is in the lowest position, that is also off. So I will break the feed just like it would do in here, and that'll work just fine. I'm disappointed that it's going to say low here. See, it says high, 3, 2, low. I really want it to say high, medium, low, off. But, oh, I'm not even sure you guys can see it. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to make something that looks like that we can work with. I will think on that, because that sure would be slick. Because you can see this is just a sticker, you know. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we're trying something. So right now I have it all the way over to that side, and I've just got a little temporary rig set up, and that is reading 4.12K. So let me flip that tab over so that the plate's the other way, and let's see what we get, because when I measured it, I actually have a lot more throw than it looked like. So let me take a look. Okay, with her all the way over, you can see the angle the tomahawk's got her at, and I had to move her all the way out, so we'll see what our other one is. I'm actually all the way in, so I may wind up shortening this rod a little bit so that it can throw just a little further. So let me flip the tomahawk over real quick and see what our new value is. Well, it's 4.83K. Honestly, that'll work. I want something to support this a little better, but yeah, that's half the range of that pot. I think we can make that work, and I honestly think I can even make a little adapter here. So let's see, I only got one hand, but what if I just push that guy out so I can move this? So see, now that's going to be the thing, is I got to make it so that that wants to move the way I want. But I have the throw. I wonder if maybe dropping it is better. I'll keep playing with that. Unfortunately, I run into a problem right here. This collides. So it wants to be on this plane here. You can see I drew a line. So that's the plane it wants to be on. I need to look under the dash and see if I can actually just make a bracket and deal with that. If I can't, then I can either, I gotta be careful. I can't take a whole lot off of any of that. But I could take a little. So, I don't know. We'll keep thinking on this. I really want to make this work without having to get too creative. I have a solution. I'm going to buy a couple of single turn linear taper pots. And looking where this vacuum knob used to go, so I reinstalled the vacuum knob just so I could see the way this works. Now I don't have it completely down, but I can make a little arm to go on a pot, make a little plate here to screw the pot to, and then boom, boom, boom. And it's just a linear, you know, I don't have to use this. I just have to use their color coding. That's it. So 10K, that's going to be fine. Yeah, I don't see any way that gets simpler. And I should be able to get at least 3K a range out of it. And I can move it out ever so slightly on the crank just to get a little more throw. But see, when I am here, you can see where we are. Oh, no, you can't. There we go. And when I am here, so we're going to get a full quarter of that. So we'll get almost 3K. And like I said, if I throw it a little longer, I might be able to get a little further too. We'll experiment with that. When we make our little arm or buy our little arm, I think they're a thing I can buy at like a hobby shop and pop that on there. I know they come with different length or different holes in the little bell cranks. So that's going to be our solution. That's going to work slick. I'm real happy with that. That's going to work just fine. Yeah, things are on order. Things are coming together. So the dash shipped and will be here. Well, it's actually here. I mean, Kevin and Cheryl got it today, even though it's Saturday. So this is tomorrow's project. That's what we're going to be doing. It's getting this out, get the Dakota in, getting that back in. If we can accomplish that in one day, that'll be phenomenal. If we can't, well, life is what it is. But right here, I am in a good place. Everything's been solved. Now I'm just waiting for some stuff. I think this is going to look really, really nice. And then I will discuss tomorrow about maybe making a sticker to go here that reads what I want it to read. We'll see. But yeah, this is going to be pretty slick. What the last thing to sort out is the pot is a 1/4-inch shaft. I've got to find something like this that'll clamp over a 1/4-inch shaft, have 2 or 3 holes on it to give me at least 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8 and 3/4, so that I can find what's going to give me the best response here. This one happens to be 5/8 right now, so I don't see why this wouldn't work really well. The other thing is I did look up that feed wire to the blower motor. Feeds the blower motor, obviously, because this gets a 20 amp fuse, and because of that, this is going to run a relay. I don't think I'm going to stick 20 amps through that little bitty connector. It might be fine, it might not. I'll just have this flip a relay off, maybe even the main relay. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But this is going to be so cool. You're not even going to know when you look at it that it's not from the factory. And that's really what you're looking for. So, at this point, I think we have everything figured out, how we're doing it. We've got everything on order. Everything's coming. ShopDog's getting bored. It's getting close to time to go make some supper. So, I think I'm going to wander in, call it a day, and enjoy this beautiful time with my family. So, anyway, ShopDog says, thanks for watching.